Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's task we need to set passwordless authentication for EC2 user and our root user. So usually when we connect to any of our EC2 instance via a terminal, we specify a full path like the path of private key, then we specify the name of the server. This could be EC2 user, this could be Ubuntu. If you're using Windows, if you're using any of the operating system, its username, and then at the rate of its public IP. So normally we connect to our EC2 instance like that. So in this task we need to connect via passwordless authentication. So what passwordless authentication will do, we only specify SSH, the name of the server like EC2 user, and the public IP. So it will automatically connect over EC2 instance. And we need to set passwordless authentication not only for EC2 user, we need to also set passwordless authentication for the root user. So first let's create passwordless authentication for our EC2 user. So for this it is specified that a new SSH key pair with name ID RSA should be created on AWS Cloud under this directory. So let's create key pair. So key pairs are created. Let's verify their permissions. Key pair must have only read permission. So let's see. So our private key has read and write permission, so we need to give only read permission. And let's verify for our public key. So it has, so let's change the permissions. Sorry, we need to specify the permission here. And also give same permission, read only permission, to our public key. So first we need to set up passwordless authentication for our EC2 user. So for this what we're gonna do is we are going to import our public key to EC2 instance, then we connect to our EC2 instance with the reference of these keys. So let's verify the content of our public key. This is our public key. We need to import this key. So go to EC2 dashboard, and click on key pairs, click on actions and import key. So let's give this key pair a name. So I am giving name as same as EC2 instance, utilize EC2 key, and paste the content of public key. Click on import key pair. So let's create EC2 instance. Click on launch instance. EC2 dashboard, click here, launch instance, and the name of the instance is utilize EC2, and AMI is Amazon Linux, and we need to specify the instance type, which is t2.micro. Also, important step, select key. So this is the public key and our private key is in terminal, so we will connect to this EC2 instance in this terminal. And also we need to create a security group which allow SSH traffic, and from now let's select this launch EC2 instance. EC2 instance is running, and let's connect to our EC2 instance. Copy the public IP and here SSH EC2 user at the rate of public key. So you might be wondering where this EC2 user comes from. So for this, if you click on this connect button, and as you can see, the username of this EC2 instance will be EC2 user. This is for Amazon Linux AMI. If you are using Ubuntu, it will be Ubuntu, and if you are using any other, then it is according to the AMI. So click on enter. Yes, and as you can see, we are now logged in into our EC2 user, and this is the private IP of our EC2. So we only had set passwordless authentication for EC2 user. Now the the other thing is we need to set passwordless authentication for the root user as well. So to become root user, we write sudo -i and then we become the root user. So what we are going to do, so we will set passwordless authentication for root user, and after that we only write SSH root at the rate of public IP of our EC2 instance, which is this. So this will deny because we have not set passwordless authentication for the root user. So let's do this. For this, as you know, we set passwordless authentication for EC2 user, and for this we have copied our public key to our EC2 instance. So now we are going to copy our public key to EC2 instance. So for this, server copy /root .ssh idrsa .public key, and we are going to server copy this public key to our EC2 instance, EC2 user at the rate of public IP of instance, and then I'm going to copy my public key in temporary folder. Click enter. So as you can see, our public key is successfully server copied to our EC2 instance. So let's connect to our EC2 instance and verify. Click on connect. So we have copied our public key in /tmp folder, and if you do ls, you will see idrsa.pub. So for passwordless authentication for root user, what we are going to do is first become the root user, sudo -i, and then we need to copy our public key from /tmp to root dot ssh authorize keys. This is a directory where we need to copy our public key in order to achieve passwordless authentication for root user. So become root user, and then we have to copy our public key. For this, cat slash tmp, because our public key is in slash tmp folder, the name of the public key, and then we need to append this into slash root dot ssh folder and authorize keys. Click on enter. So now our public key is copied to this folder for root passwordless authentication. So let's verify this. Yes, so we directly logged in into root user via our terminal. So if I do exit and let's verify again. So first I'm gonna log in as EC2 user, EC2 user at the rate of public IP of instance, EC2 at the rate of public IP. So as you can see, it is successfully logged in, and if I exit and then I'm going to log in as root user directly. Yes, so let's verify our task. Yes,